Welcome in, everybody. Let's dive right into it. In the far-flung future, in all far-flung futures of the technologically inclined, let's say, technologies vastly outpace anything that we have in modern day. It's part of what makes the sci-fi genre what it is. And we have some fairly advanced things nowadays in the here and now, right? We got AI-powered military-grade drones. We got fighter jets and weaponized robots, stealth bombers, cheese whiz, the friggin' internet. I mean, it's all pretty impressive stuff. Now, what can be said to be equally as impressive are these just Herculean, mountainous, strong people who are like Eddie Hall or Thor Bjornsson, the mountain from Game of Thrones, UFC champions, mixed martial artists. I mean, they look like something out of a Greek god story, right? We got track stars that are faster than the speed of thought. All those wildly impressive humans that have achieved differing levels of high performance flexibility, huge muscle densities and muscle control, as well as both raw and sculpted physical power. The average person is kind of like a doddering child by comparison. Although, considering all of the different kinds of futures that sci-fi would have in store for us, The Matrix, Star Trek, Terminator, all that good jazz where, we have vastly different and advanced and futuristic technologies making anything coming close to hand-to-hand interactions seem almost impossible, if not highly unlikely. So the more advanced our tech gets, the less likely we are to come to physical bouts, right? No one's going to be throwing down a literal gauntlet anymore. Say, I challenge you, sir. Okay, I have a ball full of nanites I can just toss at you and they eat you in 10 seconds. Like, that's... Sci-fi kind of curtails the need for actual bodily aggression. So I think a very fair question may be, the further we go into the future, are muscular and martial prowess needed or necessary at all? I mean, especially when we have all of this massively impressive and resilient technology. I mean, if you're in Space Marine's Terminator power armor, for example, it doesn't matter how big, chonk, strong you are. You could be Mr. Olympia times 100. You're still losing the arm wrestling competition to a Space Marine. I mean, unless you have some souped-up powers given to you by a Chaos God, or you're the Hulk, or you're genetically crafted by a Sith Lord, a normal human is not winning whatsoever against the standard Space Marine, despite that normal human's 1,000 push-up and 1,000 set-up regiment every morning. Like, it don't matter one bit. And there's the more basic fact that you can train and bulk all you want. It's not doing jack shit against a gun, and not even a las gun or a bolter. Just a standard 9mm, just a regular gun of today. It's gonna tear right through a good dense mountain of muscle like so much copy paper. So, what is the point in building all of that muscle the further technology advances? What good are martial arts even? I mean, throw all of the impressive karate kicks you want, it ain't doing diddly against a sawed-off shotgun, much less a phaser or a plasma cannon. Well, I think that in all practicality, the answer is kind of easy. Muscles and martial prowess fail every time when confronted with technology. But what happens when technology fails? Let's say there's a EMP burst. There's overly heated or overly cold weather conditions. There's a sand storm, a solar flare, any dozens of things that could screw up any kind of advanced weapon system, or, well, what then? What can you rely on when technology fails? You would have to muscle through things and rely on sheer will and physical strength. Technology will fail, and we won't be able to do much about it. When the human being fails, we die. And there's even less that we can do about that, because we'll be dead. Now, someone could bring you, say, a computer with a perfect OS, the quintessential operating system. They'll tell you this is never going to fail. It's so peak performing. It's amazing. It's great. And then it lasts for 5 years, and you start having problems, and then say 3 years later, it completely craps out on you. Well, wait, I thought it was perfect. What the hell? All it took was 8 years, and this thing is garbage now? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, a lot of this does have to do with something called planned obsolescence. So the perfect computer will never be made. The perfect phone will never be made, because all of those companies that manufacture all of those things want to keep you coming back every couple of years to buy more, newer, bigger, better product. And they can't do that if they make everybody the perfect device. So they build things to fail. It's just a matter of how long they're building that little timer, that clock in there, right? If they build it to last 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, that's the real question. So if you're going to fail big and make it final. Otherwise, you're just going to suffer, and you may even wish for death in the end. So it's much better to have the muscles and martial prowess rather than not, no matter what level of technology you're at. So, when things fail, as they always can, there's that possibility, no matter how advanced, then we have the primal, raw power of human skill and strength that can step in and save us. Maybe. There's always a maybe. It's entirely situational. I mean, it depends on what's going on, right? But damn it, if we go down, then we go down swinging, rather than just as a helpless, weak, sad sack of pittering, pouting pustulence, not even capable enough to resist at any level. Now, I don't need to go on and on about the benefits of being physically strong and capable or possessing any kind of martial skill. I mean, those things are pretty evident in and of themselves. And while we should, by all means, be continuing our technological advancements in the hopes of bettering tomorrow's humanity, I think that the physical manifestation of what helps shape the human spirit for the better should also be advanced. If you have a fierce tenacity, a fiery spirit, a strong will and sense of determination, I 1000% believe all of that should be clothed in a body of dense and capable musculature, undeniable strength, all of which is commensurate with that kind of human spirit. In much more basic, layman's Saturday morning cartoon style way of putting things, I think we should be as powerful on the outside as we are on the inside. And hey, I mean, this kind of helps cull the weak, as a side effect, at least a little bit. I mean, the cowardly, the lazy, the weak-willed, short-sighted, the inhumane, all those kinds of people would fall by the wayside and have little to no outside strength. That's kind of the way that the world works now, actually. Though I think that there's many paths to recovery and to strength for all of those people. They will definitely need it for when we put artificial intelligence into humanoid or robot bodies and we have to fight for our race's very survival. I mean, if sci-fi teaches us anything, it is to be prepared for everything. And you don't have to do that by being some sort of doomsday prepper and build 5 underground bunkers with a 6th one hidden off in the mountains somewhere. You just have to develop the willpower, the physical fortitude, and the skills necessary to do whatever needs to be done. And who knows? That might just be taking your lightly armored gloved hand and punching a droid soldier in the face. If the droid has a face, I don't know why we would give droids optical play. They just need cameras, really? Star Wars is weird. Droids don't need faces. They have sensors and cameras and things. I don't know. Besides the point. I guess I'm somewhat hearkening back to the Homo Superior versus Cyborg episode I did a while back. I would, again, much rather human beings evolve to be entirely organic and superior humans, rather than evolve into beings reliant and even wholly dependent on cybernetic enhancement or support. I would much rather have the standard human evolve to be 7 foot tall, have a massively developed thyroid, so all their muscles, bones, and organs are more dense. Their brains work a lot faster and more efficiently. They have perfect vision. They develop to be far stronger than ever before, naturally, without, of course, any agonizing trips to the gym. Now, to me, this preserves humanity in its natural development as it should be, rather than becoming something entirely inhuman in the process of becoming a race of cyborgs. We would eventually become the Borg. right? Imagine a child being born and immediately needing LASIK eye surgery, spinal augmentation, a blood cell nanite integration, all before their first couple hours of life. Well, I would say that if the baby needs all of that, like immediately after birth, and cannot sustain on its own without all of these augmentations, and that's the whole race, that's every baby ever born from that point on, just all throughout humanity, I would say that's a race that's not human anymore. And it's kind of sad and terrifying at the same time, because it's not hard to imagine that being us in the not so distant future. So what I'd advocate for, and what I think would just be completely badass, is for the advancement of muscle and martial prowess in the endeavor of eventually evolving it to Homo superior, and then covering ourselves in bulletproof armors, weapons, shielding, life-protecting technologies, anti-gravity boots, and flamethrowers. You know, all the super cool stuff. But first, we needs the bulk to, combat the cyborgs. Yeah. And the aliens, whenever they come, as well. But that is all the time I have for today, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning back in. Stick around for more Sci-Fi Unchained. But for now, live long and prosper, my friends, and may the Force be with us all.